First with breaking news. First with new information. Plus, your first alert forecast. 19 News starts now.
Were widely and deeply loved. Nothing will ever be able to fill the void they left behind.
A Lorain police officer killed in the line of duty last year was honored today at a statewide ceremony. Good afternoon, everyone. Thanks for joining us. I'm Brian Duffy.
And I'm Nicole Versansky. Officer Philip Wagner, you'll remember, was ambushed and shot and killed last July. Today, his name was added to the Ohio Fallen Officers Memorial Wall, alongside 3 other officers who gave their lives in 2025. First at 4, Brittany Weir shares how he was honored.
Officer Philip C. Wagner, Lorain Police Department.
Those words and that salute are what Phil Wagner's family traveled to London, Ohio for. A final and formal farewell during the Ohio Peace Officer Memorial Ceremony. Wagner was a Marine, a SWAT operator, a husband and father of 3, a man who gave everything and ultimately gave his life.
Last year, 10 children were suddenly left without a father. 4 grandchildren without their grandfather. 3 wives without their husband.
Wagner joined the Lorain Police Department after 4 years in the Marines, including a combat deployment to Afghanistan. He worked his way up, earning his SWAT pin on July 22, 2025. 2 days later, he was gone. Wagner and another officer were ambushed as they sat in their cruisers on their lunch break. His fellow officer survived, but Wagner did not. He was just 35 years old and the first Lorain officer killed in the line of duty since 1944.
Phil didn't like being called a hero coming back from deployment because he felt that the heroes were the ones who laid down their lives for others. Well, Phil, you're a hero.
Those who knew Wagner say he was already thinking about what came next, not for himself, but for other officers. Shortly before he was killed, he told his wife that he was considering becoming a pastor, a refuge for fellow officers struggling to find hope.
Each of these officers we are remembering today had something unique and wonderful to offer his family, his friends, and his community.
"844 names are engraved on the Ohio Fallen Officers Memorial Wall. These are all officers who gave their lives serving their communities. Now, Officer Phil Wagner, along with 3 other officers' names, join them. Reporting, Brittany Weir, 19 News.
Now your 19 First Alert forecast. Certified most accurate since 2004.
Well, despite some of the cooler air, it is beautiful outside. A lot of sunshine across the area. Live look from our Conneaut camera. You can see those deep blue skies, Lake Erie looking beautiful off in the distance as well. But if you go a little farther to the south, we do have a few of these what we call fair weather cumulus clouds. Right now, they are not carrying any rain chance for us, at least in the short term, but we could see a couple showers trying to drift in over the next couple of hours. While I think most of this activity will kind of keep us well to our north and keep us quiet and dry, there is this little burst of activity off to our west, and that could certainly throw a few showers our direction as we kind of head through the later part of this evening. Outside of that, we've got a west to northwest wind. It's going to keep us a little bit cooler. At best, temperatures will stay into the middle 50s, and even despite some of that sunshine, and again, things should stay relatively quiet next couple of hours until that rain chance comes in. We'll walk you through that in your weekend forecast coming up.
I did what my dad taught me to do. Tried to fight back and got my stuff, and I got out of there as quick as possible.
A sexual assault survivor bravely speaking out after her attacker was just arrested again. Her attacker was a Cleveland police officer.
He's in jail this afternoon, accused of another crime.
Now she's hoping to encourage others to come forward. Catherine Huntley has her story and a warning. The details of this story may be disturbing.
You're not alone, and you can get through this with the help of other women that are going through this.
Ashley Spencer bravely speaking to other victims 7 years after being sexually assaulted by a Cleveland police officer.
The assault took place after choking me out and stuff. And then basically I did what my dad taught me to do. Tried to fight back and got my stuff, and I got out of there as quick as possible.
A terrifying experience, something no one should ever endure. Back in 2019, Ashley Spencer met this man, then Cleveland police officer Matthew Piter, on Tinder. During their first date, he sexually assaulted her. She believed she could trust him as an officer. He was convicted of 2 counts of gross sexual imposition and was put on the sex offender registry. But he was only given 3 years of probation, no jail time. On April 17th, he was arrested again after failing to verify his address, a requirement for sex offenders.
Fail to verify the address. Being a sex offender to me is just absolutely disgusting.
Spencer is angry the former officer continues to break the law, which brings up horrible memories for her. She wants other women to hear her story and speak up.
I know what I did was a good thing. So that's why I want to continue the message on in case there are other victims, because you never know.
And her advice is always meet someone in public the first time.
Do not go to someone's house the first time you meet them. Make sure you feel comfortable and you're meeting in a mutual thing. I did not do that, and I regret that.
Matthew Piter remains in the Cuyahoga County Jail following his arrest. He awaits a court-ordered psychiatric competency hearing. In Cleveland, Catherine Huntley, 19 News.
If you or someone you know is struggling following a sexual assault, there are resources that can help. You can call the Cleveland Rape Crisis Center's hotline 24/7. The number here on your screen, 216-619-6192 or 440-423-2020. You can also chat with them online anytime as well.
Now your 19 First Alert traffic update.
The only crash I'm seeing reported in Northeast Ohio right now is still this one that's in Rocky River on Worcester Road over at Rockcliffe Drive, but this is not causing miles of stop and go traffic anymore on Route 20. But as for the rest of Northeast Ohio, here is where you're going to be tapping the brakes. And actually, I ate my own words. This crash just popped up, so I'll get some more information on that for my next traffic alert. But right now, I want to bring you to the slowdowns that are impacting drivers on 77 northbound because of construction still reducing you to that single file lane. Right now, we don't have that major backup, so that's good. If you have any plans to get downtown right now, smooth sailing. Just a couple minutes will be tacked onto your drive after you pass that camera view. But you will be tapping the brakes, of course, on 90 West just before Deadman's Curve and through it. This is one of the slowest spots in Northeast Ohio with speeds just 15 miles per hour.
Students at Warrensville Heights High School will be back in class tomorrow. It comes after a fire and power outage forced the evacuation of that building earlier today. Classes were canceled. Students were sent home around 10 this morning. The fire department says an electrical vault blew outside the school, causing a small fire and then that power outage. No one was hurt, but we are working to get an update from the fire department as to any damages.
They are on our streets when they need to be back in front of a judge.
They are Cuyahoga's most wanted. Dan DeRosa is back with our second fugitive of the week. Dan.
Facing 16 total charges. This is someone who clearly has no regard for the law. Let's get to the case of James Hartman.
Mr. Hartman actually has 2 warrants with the Cuyahoga County Sheriff's Department. Firstly, in May of 2025, he pled guilty to failure to comply, having weapons while under disability, trafficking, carrying concealed weapons, and criminal damaging. Reports in that case state that he failed to stop for police after committing a moving violation and a pursuit ensued. The vehicle pursuit was terminated, however, once police had an aerial visual of the suspect. James then caused a crash, causing injury and property damage. When a vehicle inventory was performed, a loaded gun and narcotics were located. Obviously, you see this a lot. You're trafficking drugs, it's dangerous, you're going to have a firearm. The registered owner of the vehicle also reported that vehicle as stolen, if that wasn't bad enough. He failed to appear for a probation appointment, and warrants were issued for his arrest.
Detective, we do this to clean up our streets, make our communities safer. We do it to get justice for victims. We also do it because there is up to a $5,000 reward available. And what do you like to remind people?
That crime doesn't pay, but Crime Stoppers does.
And the way they pay is by a simple phone call. It's completely anonymous. They don't record your call. They don't want your name. They simply want the tip that brings the guy in. 216-252-7463. That's 216-25-CRIME is an easier way to remember that. And to Mr. Hartman, I say I want to remind you that we have a 78% capture rate. One way or another, 78% of the people we feature on Cuyahoga's Most Wanted end up back in a courtroom. So, Mr. Hartman, good luck.
All right, here we go. Game 2, Cavs and Pistons, and the Cavs better clean things up after that Game 1 loss in Detroit.
Turnovers, foul trouble, bad shooting. I mean, it was all of it combined. Let's bring in Ashley Holder for a closer look.
Yeah, guys, listen, 37% from the three, 2 points from Jared Allen. Maybe you could have overcome some of those things, but add in 19 turnovers that led to 31 Piston points. And there's no coming back from that. Detroit is third in the league in defense, but it seemed like a lot of the Cavs giveaways were unforced errors. James Harden had 7 more, which means he's up to 43 in 8 playoff games. Your point guard just has to be better than that, and it sounded like he knows it.
Do you think these turnovers are something that are correctable?
Yep, 1,000,000%. You look at my turnovers, and a lot of them were just on me, and nothing they did. So, and which led to I don't even know how many transition points they had, but it was way too many. And I mean, if I had to put my print on one thing on the game, that's the game right there. I mean, how many points they had in transition? How far turnovers?
20.
There you
31.
go. That's the game. Like, it's nothing else.
It's always the physicality. As long as we're allowed to put our hands on you, as long as we're allowed to bump you and be aggressive with our physicality, that gives us an advantage to put people in small spaces. And then you got to play through contact in small spaces and be great in those situations.
All right, one injury note. Sam Merrill is questionable on the injury report with a bad hamstring. He left Game 1 in the second quarter and did not return. The Pistons are favored tonight by 3 points. In the studio, Ashley Holder, 19 News.
Yeah, I think it's that simple. Take care of the basketball. We were talking in the break, and Ashley said it. I agree. I think you do too. The Pistons aren't this unbeatable team. I mean, they're not so imposing that the Cavs can't win this game. I think they can win tonight if they take care of the ball.
Totally agree. I feel like we made them look so good last game. And there were moments in that game, as horrible as we were playing, that we were close.
Yeah,
we tied it up.
game's tied.
We were winning. Yeah. All right. Well, here in Cleveland, there are a couple watch parties that you can go to cheer on these Cavs. Wouldn't it be nice to come home with tie series, right?
Yeah.
Okay, one of these is happening in Welcome to the Farm in the Flats. It starts at 6, an hour before tip-off. The Cavs dance team and the mascots will be there. The other one going to be at Centro Via 25 on West 25th. There will be special giveaways, playoff prizes. The party starts at 6:30. Tip-off is at 7. The game is on Amazon Prime, just so you know.
All right, oil markets are showing some tentative signs of relief. Trading now under $100 a barrel, but these prices are volatile. Crude today around $94 a barrel. Despite some relief, there does not mean that there is much relief at the pump. Actually, none. Gas is up another 2 cents today. AAA says regular is averaging $4.56 a gallon nationally, $4.78 here in Ohio. We looked around with the help from Gas Buddy for the cheapest gas. You'll pay $4.19. Well, it's really low, comparatively speaking. At the Gas USA in Cleveland on West 117th, $4.39 at the Mapco in Akron on Waterloo, and $4.39 at the Valero in Parma Heights on Pearl.
If you think you have the voice to make history, we want to hear it. As part of our We the People celebration, 19 News is inviting you to be part of the Star Spangled Sing-Off. One lucky person going to win an all expenses paid trip to Nashville to film a performance that will air on stations across the country. So to enter, just submit a solo a cappella performance of the national anthem. You have to be 18 or older. You have to live here in Northeast Ohio. You can upload your video and see the official rules at cleveland19.com/contests. Videos do have to be uploaded by May 31st at noon. Voting begins in June, but good luck.
Now your 19 First Alert forecast. Certified most accurate since 2004.
All right, we get to talk about a little bit of a warm-up headed into Mother's Day weekend. Unfortunately, for a lot of us, that warm-up will not last long. We will see a little bit of ups and downs with our temperature headed into next week. But with this kind of up and down of our weather pattern, we will have more opportunities for rain pretty much each and every day. Kind of what's been the case the last several days as well. Temperatures tomorrow get a little bit of an improvement. We're going to be back near 60 degrees, a little bit above average, barely by 1 degree by Saturday. Temperatures near 70 degrees. And then with that cold front that comes through during the later part of the day, you will see us reset that temperature through the second part of the weekend. As we mentioned, there are some daily opportunities for rain. Let's kind of talk about that, because as we go through the day tomorrow, a few spotty showers will be possible during the afternoon, though I think that the better rain chance will come together the later you get into Friday evening. Now, will Friday evening be a complete wash of plans? I don't necessarily think so, but the farther south you are, the better that rain chance will build, and you're going to kind of see that become the case here as we get into the early hours of Saturday. So Saturday may start out soggy for some. I don't think this will last all morning long. In fact, it should clear off towards the east pretty quickly. Then we get a little bit of dry time, but there is that cold front that's coming through, and so that could give us a few showers, maybe an isolated rumble of thunder headed into Saturday evening. We will need to watch forecast trends on that, and behind that system, that's when things are going to start turning a little bit cooler. Could we have any frost? We're going to talk about that coming up here in the next half hour.
Now to your top four. At 4, first we saw a series of threats targeting zoos across the Midwest last week.
Now another round of threats, but this time targeting local schools. Lorraine High School, one of 5 districts in our area, it evacuated because of a bomb threat. The district dismissed students earlier this afternoon. The other local schools that received threats, Alliance, Amherst, Shaker Heights High School, and in Cleveland, East Tech High and Bure Dual Language Academy. No threats were ever found.
Orrville City Schools were under a soft lockdown this morning. The district said it was due to an incident outside of town, away from school buildings. They did not say what that incident was, but Orrville police did say a suspect is in custody. A soft lockdown simply limits outside access. No outdoor activities were held until that lockdown was lifted just before 10:30 this morning.
Marysville.
A woman sentenced for killing another woman in the Metro Parks. Olivia Paul got at least 20 years in prison. 25-year-old Kiera Jackson was shot in the head last summer. She was the mother of 2 young children. Police found her dead near the drive of Mill Creek Falls in Garfield Heights. Investigators say Paul and Jackson knew each other, but they did not say a motive for the shooting.
Austintown police are searching for 17-year-old Emily Croft. She was last seen in Cleveland. Investigators say she was dropped off on Chester somewhere by an Uber driver on March 29th. She hasn't been seen or heard from since. Police are very concerned for her safety. If you see her or know where she is, call Austintown Police.
Well, all aboard the Freedom Express.
Transportation Secretary Sean Duffy joined a group of 4th graders for the train's inaugural trip from Washington, D.C. to Philadelphia. Amtrak's commemorative train marks the nation's 250th birthday. The Freedom 250 Acela train is emblazoned with the year 1776 and a picture of the Statue of Liberty.
All aboard! Amtrak! Woo! Really well done, everybody.
The new train will operate from Boston to D.C. Stops along the way include New York City, Philly, and Baltimore.
Breaking news, a row home partially collapses. Up next, what we know about the people inside.
Saying goodbye to a historic neighborhood after 106 years. Straight ahead, a local florist giving way to progress.
Breaking at this hour, a row home partially collapsed in North Philadelphia. You can see red bricks just strewn across the ground and on top of vehicles. 3 siblings were in the home at the time of the collapse. They were not hurt. A notice posted on the home indicates officials plan on demolishing it. It's unclear right now when that's going to happen. We still don't know what caused that collapse.
Also breaking, there were some protests, but Tennessee lawmakers passed a new U.S. House map that carves up a majority black district, Memphis. The new voting districts approved could give Republicans a chance to win all 9 of the state's congressional seats in the November midterms. Tennessee is the first state to adopt new districts since a U.S. Supreme Court ruling last week that some believe significantly weakened Federal Voting Rights Act protections for minorities. Reports of anti-Semitism are on the rise, and a Holocaust survivor says her story now matters more than ever.
That survivor lives here in the Cleveland area. Keith Grant spoke with her today.
And I had a braid at that time. He caught my braid and pushed me down. He said, "I know you're running to tell your parents that I am coming."
91-year-old Rena Frankel describes the moment she came face to face with a Nazi officer.
I was 5 when the war broke out. We were trying to hide.
Her family was moved from Poland to Siberia and forced into labor. When a Nazi officer confronted her family, Frankel says her mother made a split-second decision.
So she pretended that I am her. She took me to the commandant and said, he got very angry. Why'd you bring this child?
Decades later, Frankel tucks her speech away. She'll read it at the United States Holocaust Memorial Museum luncheon in Cleveland. She's honored for her decades of support for the museum.
We are facing, as Jews, difficult times. Anti-Semitism is at the highest level it's been since World War II.
In November 2023, the month after Hamas attacked Israel, FBI data reports more than 850 anti-Jewish hate crimes in a single month. Reports have since dropped, but remain far above where they were a decade ago. But Frankel says the answer to hate is telling her story.
So this is our way of saying the Nazis didn't succeed.
Frankel has shared her story for decades and says she's not done yet. Keith Grant, 19 News.
The former Notre Dame College campus went up for auction today. The city of South Euclid is a bidder. Notre Dame College closed in the spring of 2024, leaving almost 50 acres of prime real estate off Green Road with green space, historic buildings, vacant. It's unclear when a winner will be announced, but we will let you know when that happens. In Norwalk, a driver slams his truck into a Burger King. This is at the BK on Benedict Avenue. Emergency crews rushed to the scene. Firefighters were able to get the driver out of his truck. We're told no one was seriously hurt, but the building, as you can tell by these pictures, is significantly damaged and is closed today.
Now your 19 First Alert traffic update.
A crash on 76 westbound over by East Market Street has just been cleared within the last minute, but that caused 5 miles of stop-and-go traffic that went all the way to the county line to Portage. So if you're about to be heading out and then heading east on heading west on 76 towards East Market Street, you're still going to be seeing some bumper-to-bumper traffic if you're going to be in this area within the next 10 minutes, because we have some backups not just over by North Canton Road, but over here at South Monroe Road. And I'll take away this banner so you can see the bunched up backup that is waiting all the way back here as drivers are finally picking up speed. If you have a loved one who's typically stuck in this right now, they'll be at least 10 to 15 minutes late getting home. But if you wait about an extra 10 to 15 minutes before you head out and then hit the road here, again, this is on 76 westbound towards East Market Street, over from that Portage County line, then you should be clear. I'll be keeping my eye on this and let you know if it's still going to be stopping you. My First Alert traffic updates.
The Trump administration is still waiting for a response from Iran to its latest proposal to end the war. And there are still tensions over the Strait of Hormuz. Natalie Brandt has our story.
Iranian state media reports the country's president met with the new supreme leader as the regime reviews messages from the United States. Iran also claims to have shot down an enemy drone Wednesday, and there are reports the regime is trying to formalize control over shipping lanes in the Strait of Hormuz.
Iran's indiscriminate mining and tolling efforts in the Strait of Hormuz are textbook violations of international law.
Thursday, UN Ambassador Mike Waltz and Gulf allies held a conference about a draft plan to reopen the critical waterway.
The draft resolution calls for Iran to immediately cease all attacks and the threats against merchant and commercial vessels.
The UN ambassador also remarked about an Iranian move to create a Persian Gulf Strait Authority to approve ship movements and collect tolls.
Basically have to check in and pay a bribe, pay a toll in order to use these international waterways. So that doesn't just affect this region. It affects the entire world.
The CEO of Danish shipping group Maersk told our partners at the BBC that disruptions from the war in Iran have nearly doubled their fuel bill, costs that will have to be passed on to customers.
The secondary effect from this is actually whether these increased costs are eventually going to lead to inflation and demand destruction as a result, which could create a softened market environment in the second part of the year.
A Maersk ship was one of the two vessels U.S. forces helped guide out of the strait on Monday under Project Freedom, an operation to secure the strait that's now paused. Natalie Brandt, CBS News, the White House.
McDonald's has also issued an economic warning saying the high gas prices are likely to drive down consumer demand.
Some breaking news from Columbus and a big shakeup in the State House. Attorney General Dave Yost is resigning.
19 News confirming he will take a job with a nonprofit. Alliance Defending Freedom is a conservative Christian legal organization. Yost had launched a bid for governor last year, but he withdrew after Vivek Ramaswamy won several key endorsements.
So what's next? Now Governor Mike DeWine will have to pick Yost's replacement. Yost had reached his term limit and had to leave office anyways in January. Governor DeWine did just release a statement, though,
saying, quote, "I am grateful for Attorney General Yost's long career in public service, from serving as Delaware County Auditor, Delaware County Prosecutor, Auditor of State to Attorney General of Ohio. I wish him the best in his next endeavor."
Having served as Ohio Attorney General, I know how important this office is and the great work done by its employees. I will give the appointment of someone to serve as Attorney General thoughtful and deliberate consideration.